Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Most of you know who I am, and for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is KrimsonKreamer, and this is a very special video where I was able to sit down and do an interview with MillenniumLoops. And if you guys do not know who that is, he is the guy who came up with the Pokemon Adventure Sinnoh game concept trailer, and we were able to sit down and do an interview where we would go more in depth with the game concept itself, and to have him talk about his experience and what he had planned for this game concept. Now, as for part of this video, he asked me to leave his voice out as to stay anonymous and for other personal reasons. So to respect that, I got my good friend Eqlipse, aka EQ, to read over his voice lines as to respect MillenniumLoops' wishes. And without further ado, here is the interview between me and MillenniumLoops. So the game concept Pokemon Adventure Sinnoh is definitely paying homage to Diamond, Pearl, and the Platinum series, but how much of the story is taken from those games, and will there be a twist to the original story, like in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire?
Alright, so first of all, I want to let everyone know, and I can't stress this enough, that this is just a game concept video, and it will never ever be developed or anything. With that said, just a video concept of how I would imagine a remake of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum could be. Because I wanted to detach myself from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as a bunch of people use it as a comparison, I wanted to detach myself from that and start making my own content, and eventually go to Sinnoh and to the other regions. So in a way, it's not just having this competitive thing between me and what the Pokemon company does. So yeah, I do plan to change the whole thing like Oras does. That's why I decided to change the designs of the characters and introduce new Mega Evolutions. Because I love how the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire were done. Because it's the experience again, but with a different look. It's a different experience, like in another timeline. That's what I was trying to do with Adventure Sinnoh.
So everything was planned out as if you were going to finish the game.
Yes, I would. My biggest dream is to make a Pokemon game, but I do not have any rights to do so. So the only thing that I can do, which is the second best thing, is to at least pretend like I was doing it. Or acted like I was doing it. And show the people my vision of basically how I would develop the game. It goes deeper than just the game concept. It goes into game mechanics and battle mechanics. They're thought of before going into the concept, even if they don't appear in the video. Like the battle UI with the battle system that shows how the game would play out.
To reiterate your comment from before, you said the battle system was inspired by the Naruto Ninja Storm series. So how much of it was taken from that series, and what is of your own creative freedom?
So first of all, the first time I played Naruto Ninja Storm, I was like, God, if I played Pokemon like this, it would just be a dream. Of course, that in terms of combos, it wouldn't work out, because I still want to keep that ability on the 4 attacks to keep it as loyal to the Pokemon anime as possible. So yeah, it would be like Naruto Ninja Storm, but only 4 attacks. You would use the D-pad to use quick items that you would preset before the battle, like potions or X attacks and stuff like that. You would be able to jump, dodge, maybe grab, defend yourself. There's also that experience bar that's progressing as you deal and suffer damage, enabling Pokemon to evolve during battle just like in the anime.
You have also mentioned before that the Pokemon have access to just 4 moves, like in the game and the show. But are you able to customize those moves, or does the Pokemon just have 4 specific moves?
It would be just like in the games, like if you start with Charmander with just Scratch and Growl, and as you progress in levels, you'll be able to change its moves out and change their movesets at the move reminder.
Will the battle system work like the main series games, where certain moves affect Pokemon differently? Example, Earthquake not hitting flying types, or fighting type moves not affecting ghost type moves.
So it was thought of like in the actual game system of the original games, but also like in the anime. Like yes, Earthquake wouldn't affect flying Pokemon unless it was touching the ground, and the damage that it takes would actually be different. I would have to make the damage not as much as it would be on a turn-based system, because the battle system is pretty fast. So if you deal just the same damage as the turn-based one, then the matches would be over in 1 or 2 hits. So the damage would have to be reduced. And also, depending on the strength of the move, because we're going to have to use power points, PP, but there's also going to be like cooldown for moves. For example, Ember is a weaker fire move that would have a faster cooldown of 3 seconds, compared to the stronger fire type move like Fire Blast that would have a cooldown of 15 seconds or so. So this way you wouldn't spam the strongest moves all the time.
Will the function of EVs and IVs be a part of this game?
With a big team of a multi-million-dollar company, yes, it would be able to be implemented faster. But then again, all the damage dealt would be reduced to adapt to the combat systems. But yes, it could surely be adapted into the game, it's just numbers.
So to follow up with what you said about the battle system being inspired by the Naruto Ninja Storm series in the Pokemon anime, how will you handle status moves that inflict status conditions, like Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, and Thunder Wave, and moves that modify stats like Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, and Iron Defense, and also regular moves that can cause status effects? Will they reflect their in-game mechanics, or will they be more like from the anime where certain things happen during the moves?
So yeah, the plan was to take inspiration from Naruto Ninja Storm, where you can use items to affect your opponent's speed, attack, and such. The status moves for the Pokemon would work in the same way. Like in the trailer when Infernape uses Thunder Punch, you can see that Empoleon is getting electrified and can have his moment slowed for an amount of time. And the same is said for Ice Beam, freezing Infernape in place for a few seconds, allowing the player to move in and attack. And with Burn and Toxic, you would just take damage over a period of time.
In regards to the customization, some items appear to be holding Megastones in place of other items, like the bell around Garchomp's neck. Will the held items like Choice Band, Life Orb, or Berries be cosmetic items for the Pokemon to wear? An example, if I give my Pokemon a Kimsrock, will he have it sitting on his head like a crown, or will held items be even a mechanic in this game?
The idea is that we have the player have the choice, and you can see that we have a slider for the player to choose to have the Megastone on or off the necklace. That means the Pokemon is already holding the Megastone, but it's your choice to show the held item or not. I think that giving freedom to the player to make his or her own game as personal as possible is very important to me. For me, honestly, I'll spend too much time in games customizing my own character and kits. Creation to me is a very big factor in games. And I think that the Pokemon Company should put more on the customization to make games feel a bit more personal. Like when we watch the anime, you see these things, these items like the Garchomp necklace or Lucario's bracelet. So we want to experience this world from the anime, and we don't have an experience like this, and it's kind of a bummer.
What has been shown from the trailer, considering the amount of Pokemon, if this game was being made, will the game have access to Pokemon from only Generation 4 and below, or will we see Pokemon from generations higher?
So as to keep it as realistic as possible in terms of actual development, it would obviously be the same Pokemon that would be available from the original games of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But you could also have situations like in Pokemon Masters, Cynthia has a Komodo. You could have this concept for a couple trainers having Pokemon from different generations above Gen 4. Only allowing those specific lines of Pokemon allowed. An example would be the Charizard line of Vanilla Sword and Shield being the only Kanto starter in the game until DLC.
In the trailer, you show the Pokemon trainer riding certain Pokemon to traverse the many terrains of the region. How will you handle the flying mechanic? Will it be like other games where it's the warp mechanic, or will the player have access to just fly anywhere like in Oraz with the Latios and Latios flying? Or would you go more the Breath of the Wild route and having gliding as the mechanic?
It would pretty much go the route of Breath of the Wild. You would just choose the Pokemon you want to fly with, it pops out of the Pokeball, and you walk up to it and interact with it and get a pop-up like Pet, Feed, or Fly, and just go into the flying gameplay.
So this question is a two-parter. In the trailer, you show a clip of the trainer battling Giratina. Will fights with giant Pokemon like Giratina be reminiscent of the boss battle styles from the Naruto Ninja Storm games, and will you be able to capture and use said Pokemon in battle?
So with the big Pokemon, it would be really hard to have the same battle system with the big Pokemon, but it would be the same as the boss battles from Naruto Storm series. It would depend on the size of the legendary to adapt it to that playstyle. And once you've caught them, you would be able to use them in battle, but with a smaller, more playable size. With this in mind, we would have to make the game just as a single-player adventure game, and not as a multiplayer game, because if you have two giant Pokemon battling it out, it would be too much for the system to handle.
And with that, that is the end of this video. Thank you again to MillenniumLoops for allowing me to interview him, and thank you again to my friend Eqlipse, aka EQ, for reading over the voice lines. It was a very big help for me, and you guys are both awesome and amazing, and I really do appreciate you. I will leave links for both of their channels down below. And with that, guys, I will see you all later. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Other questions that you have that you want to ask, feel free to leave them down there. And I will see you guys later, and as always, good gaming, God bless, go beyond, and keep on keeping on.
So with the big Pokemon, it would be really hard to have the same battle system with the big Pokemon, but it would be the same as the boss battles from Naruto Sandstorm. Sandstorm? Like Darude Sandstorm. Why can't I... My name's been Eqlipse, EQ for short, and I'm bad at reading, but I hope those work, Krim.